Welcome to a comic book look, issue 32. First of all, issue 32, that's kind of a big deal. Anyways, we're your weekly comic book show. We talk about comics, anything in the industry related to comics. You want it, you got it. My name's John, a.k.a. Johnny Blaze, a.k.a. Leather Coats with Spikes on them. It's Sweet Bike. We got Tom over here, a.k.a. last name Divine, a.k.a. the Angel of Justice, a.k.a. what a great movie we just saw this week. And that's
something like that.
That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. We're kicking it live here at InveteranteMediaJunkies.com. Poster children of the new generation, digital age.
Yeah, dude, check it out, man. We got a week show here today for you guys. I'm not gonna lie. We're not gonna sugarcoat this. This is gonna be terrible. I mean, we are talking about Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. And yes, we are very
vengeful.
We braved ourselves through. I actually fell asleep during a part of it, and then woke up.
Did?
Yep. What? Woke up to a loud noise, and I was like, "Oh! I hope John didn't notice that." And it was terrible. But yeah, we're still going to review it because we said at the beginning of our show that we were going to do every comic book movie
because they deserve it.
That's kind of like the thing we do. That's just like a reason that we don't have to come up with a topic for an episode.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, what can I say? It's directed by the guys who did Crank, Neville Dean and Taylor. But they didn't do enough Crank of it. It was Nick Cage starring and nobody else really that you'd recognize. The guy from Empire Records. And other than that, I mean, it was just terrible. I mean, what's more to say? And I feel like are we being so mean to it? Ghost Rider, it's a Marvel character, been around forever. Yeah. Huge in the news lately because Marvel's doing that, crazy lawsuit against one of the original creators. And then we get Ghost Rider, and Nick Cage is a huge fan of Ghost Rider, and that's kind of why he's getting this going. It was kind of, he's kind of a driving force behind it because he loves Ghost Rider. He said he sold his whole collection of comics, but he kept every Ghost Rider comic because he loves Ghost Rider.
Could have told me.
Yeah, and it's like such a bad movie. It would be like you'd think it would be like some cheap B movie or something like that. I mean, this probably still costed not as much as Avengers or something,
right.
But it was still lots of money put into this ridiculous performance by every actor on screen.
Yeah.
I mean, there is times where Nick Cage is trying to hold Ghost Rider back, and it is unbearable. He's like, you don't want to see better answer. And he does that in why he's doing his whole entire scene for every part of the movie.
Yeah.
And me and John were constantly like, oh my god. It's
kind of like a Dragon Ball Z Power Up meets Comedy Central, and extended by 5 minutes per instance, and it was just kind of like, ugh. But I don't know. And it's funny you mentioned Crank, and that's exactly what came to mind when he had some of that dialogue. When he was trying to act all crazy to that one guy, you don't want to see me when I'm angry. And it's like, first of all, bro, you should be playing a family man in a movie, not a Ghost Rider.
I don't like Nicolas Cage anyway. He hasn't been good since Raising Arizona, and somehow he's in so many movies that I have ended up liking some of the movies he's in because he gets into these movies that can be okay.
Yeah.
But
Ghost Rider's not one of them.
Ghost Rider's not one of them. And I went in, I didn't like Ghost Rider 1. Yeah. But at least it was a really good try to make that big superhero movie with a villain and try to make it be comic book and be big. And it's on this one they didn't go for that. They kind of went for, we're just going to kind of slide this one through. Yeah. And there were a couple good parts, and we'll get to the good parts later. Our good, not really parts, but small little pieces of the whole salad were good, they had, it was like a Snicker salad, and everything else was rotten, but they still had a few Snickers left in there. And so it was oh, so hard to choke down, and then you get just the Snicker, you'd be like, oh, this is much better than what I've been eating.
A tiny morsel of paradise.
Yeah, and, but...
Yeah, well, I can't wait to hear what those parts were, because I must be missing that part.
But, I mean, it can't be, can we be that harsh? It is a comic book movie. Should we be that harsh? I mean, did you go into it with an open mind?
No, but man, I sure left it with one. I decided I could watch Ghost Rider 1 3 times in a row before I will watch this one ever again, because it was just that bad.
Yeah, it was.
The dialogue was just tacky. I mean, there were parts Tom and I were just looking at each other like, what the fuck?
And if they were gonna do Crank, they should have went all the way Crank.
Right.
Like all
this
where every
like,
scene.
He was drinking like Diet Mountain Dew. It just wasn't working. And it's Nicolas Cage. I mean, I'm like 38. No, you're not. Balding.
Dude, the worst hairpiece ever. The worst hairpiece I've ever seen. And just the worst acting by Nicolas Cage I've ever seen, too.
Worst acting, period.
I know, the whole thing. It's all the way bad. At the end, the guy who played Highlander in all the Highlander movies is like some guy with a sword. He has writing all over. He's a monk.
Yeah.
And so that was like kind of weird. I was like, oh, he showed up? Oh, okay, let's see what goes on here.
Raiden.
And yeah, you were like, is that Raiden in Mortal Kombat? I think it is. And then he dies. I think I might have fell asleep at that point.
Good 5-minute cameo.
Okay, can you kind of give us a rundown of the plot? Did you kind of understand anything?
Sure.
Okay,
yeah. Well,
the rundown.
The rundown. Spoiler alert. Skyler's going to put spoiler all over this part. Well, the movie opens up to, the mom and the kid on the run or whatever. We meet a nondescript guy that's after them. Turns out he actually has a connection to the female character, which has no depth whatsoever.
Doesn't mean anything.
The importance of the kid, no depth whatsoever. We get to visit a castle filled with monks, and this place is a fortress. It's going to be 2 seconds later. Oh my god, we're being invaded by guys with guns. There's no superpowers involved whatsoever. So it was kind of a flat tire of an opener, in my opinion. I was not excited about this whatsoever. And then finally, the one dude goes and finds, Nicolas Cage, Johnny Blaze, whatever, and is like, hey, we need your help, and in exchange, we'll get rid of your curse. Okay, I'll do it. And, one thing leads to another. The mom's kind of not really a motherly figure. When I look at her, I don't think of a mom at all, personally.
No. Well, obviously she, is teaching him how to steal and pickpocket and scam.
So,
and...
hitting on British businessmen, that's cool, whatever, whatever floats your boat. It was so, they were trying to just make it so driven and so overly modern that it just totally sucked. Is the plot. I got nothing out of it.
It was supposed to be, this kid had the dark power. Danny has this dark power.
Shares Satan's power.
Better watch out. And then there's a Ghost Rider, Danny Ketch, that's a famous Ghost Rider. So it's like, is this Danny Ketch? This isn't really making sense. But they kept the, the Ghost Rider, mythos is close to the comic book.
Yeah.
So I guess, it has that. That's kind of a good thing.
Was that one of those morsels?
No, it wasn't. I didn't think about that until now. But, yeah, I mean, there is really no good plot to it. I mean, it's just, there's no love story, though, so, that's good. But, nobody really has any purpose.
Nope.
One of the good things, though, I mean, there was, like I said, there were some good things I liked. And one of the good things I liked is the character of Heimdall from Thor.
I suppose.
He is like a drunken kind of priest. He's riding this motorcycle.
He likes his wine.
He's all about the wine, and he's, helping Nick Cage. Without him in the movie, the first part would have been unbearable. Yeah. And so he got me to at least watching it, and it was good. And I can't remember his name, but he's Stringer Bell from The Wire. I mean, I don't know what else. That's what I think of. Yeah. Strang, and he's awesome, and it's a great part. Another part that I thought was just so over the top and ridiculous. But, like, if they would have kept going with the over-the-top ridiculous Crank style, like, fast action-packed, you know, falling out of airplanes and living, and, you know, crazy Crank ridiculousness, I like that. I thought Crank movies were okay. I mean, they're just, like, stupid and funny.
Yeah,
it's, like, so
video...
Yeah, it's video game-esque, you know, it's like...
But they're not trying to be serious.
Those are... That could never happen. Yeah. It's like, yeah, of course it couldn't.
That's not the point.
And if they would have went that way and went all the way over the top,
yeah.
because we know these directors can make really good movies,
yeah.
it would have been a lot cooler.
But it wasn't.
They didn't do that. They really held it back, and so that...
What'd you think of the, kind of the Spartacus-esque artwork, just some of that random picture shit going on? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There was just flashing pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Was it effective, or was it just stupid?
You know what? It was a break from what I was seeing, so I liked it. You know,
It
was a break from like
from
just
the
the nonsense that I was watching. That and I like different art, so that you know it was fine. That was okay with me actually. Yeah. Over the topness, that is super awesome. That could have been like if the whole thing was crankified. Yeah. Was when he got on like that crane thing and like it became a giant chainsaw. Yeah. And Ghost Rider, he's like, get anything out of the Ghost Rider Zon becomes him. So he like flames up this giant like crane thing and starts just like shooting fireballs out, and you know like, that could have been cool, you know. And I'm sure that cost like probably like out of their $50 million budget, that probably cost like $20 million, and it ended up being laughable though the way they put it about, because it came in, they were still kind of almost taking themselves serious at parts. And then this happens, you're like, are you fucking kidding me? This is so dumb. And it's something like, if you did it right, that could have been a great idea. Yeah. And just horrible. And not to mention, me and John went on an opening weekend. How many people, I mean, we went in on after opening weekend, but still, within the first 4 days of when it opening, how many other people were in the theater besides us?
It was packed.
I mean, we almost couldn't find a spot.
Could not find a spot.
Because it was... two other people.
Yeah.
Giant theater.
Wasn't it like, they were like on a date or something?
Yeah, me and John, and then
girl.
people on the date. Oh. And especially because me and John are like, I'm snoring and falling asleep, and John's just
snickering
the whole time.
Poppycock.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It was terrible, but...
Yeah.
Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, that's what they get. That's the karma that Marvel gets around for doing this to the... Ghost Rider creator at this time.
So
it came full circle.
You know, and Gabe and I were talking about this at work, but what's the word on Marvel Knight movies? Sucking. So bad. Punisher. Ghost Rider. Why?
Because those are the only two that have had the Marvel Knight logo.
But why do they suck? I mean, what's the deal?
Well, first of all,
I
am one of the 1% that love that Punisher movie.
You love it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause
it's just... I like all they keep the three same colors in the background. It's really dark. I mean, there's good things about it. It's black. So bad it's good. And, you know, I like Ray Stevenson a lot, and I think he was by far the best idea for how I wanted the Punisher to look and I wanted him to be. And I thought he was great, but, you know, they portrayed the character wrong still in the movie, and I didn't think it was, like, awesome, but I don't think it's as bad as everybody else does. Yeah. And I would say... Jonah Hex, this Ghost Rider, the terrible Batman movies in between Burton's and then Nolan's. Those are all worse than Punisher War Journals, I thought, or War, whatever it's called. But yeah, it is a thing that, you know, Marvel Knights, they have that offshoot and they want to be darker, but they really haven't done anything good.
So that's the point of it, though, is to be darker?
Yeah, Marvel Knights is supposed to be more adult.
But it's not like... It's not owned by Fox or nothing like that. It's just a subsidiary of Marvel Studios.
No, these are put out by Fox.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
But
answers my question.
It's put out by Fox, but this is Marvel's still idea. It wants to have
heavens.
But Marvel Studios is completely different than that. I mean, Marvel Studios is
doing it right.
Yeah, Marvel Studios is the continuity guys. You know, they're building
continuity.
continuity
that's what
in movies.
People love. I really do think that's what people love.
Yeah, totally. So, anything else you need to say about the terrible train wreck? Let's do ratings. I've been you know, I'm still listening to that Mates podcast. That's Mike and Tom Eat Snacks, my favorite podcast. And check it out if you have time. And they always do ratings, and so I feel like we need to do that as well because it's awesome. So 5 stars, Ghost Rider: Spirit of the Vengeance. Is it a 5-star movie?
Out of what?
So we're this
out of like 20 stars?
No, 5 stars. What do you rate it?
Oh, 1.
1,
if that.
So you give it the 1 star.
About a 0.5 star.
0.5 star.
Yeah.
I'm gonna also give it a 0.5 star as well.
This is bad.
So yeah, it was worse than Jonah Hex, and that was terrible. And I've heard some people like saying, "Oh, I liked it. I thought it was good." I was like, "Really?" I mean, I literally fell asleep. I mean, it's a movie about a guy riding a motorcycle, fire coming out of his head, shit should be blowing up, awesome things should be happening, and I fell asleep because that's how bad it was. And so, no.
I think that maybe the flop movies should kind of join forces, and maybe we could have like a Ghost Lantern. Or something, just to kind of salvage our year.
Yeah, Green Lantern. I mean, this makes Green Lantern look like the Godfather.
Yeah. Instant classic.
Terrible. Oh, man. Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider, he just hasn't been able to stay in the comic game either,
He?
Or she in the most recent Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
But, it's just a character that in the 90s was so big. Everybody loved Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Gabe Nightshield from issue 7, just obsessed with Ghost Rider. Loves Ghost Rider. He said before on...
He's going to go see it tomorrow, I think.
That he's, he's prepared
I told him,
to be disappointed. And, so, people love them, but it's just terrible. Yeah. And the comics can't work. They haven't been doing anything. There has not been good Ghost Rider since Jason Aaron had a really good run on Ghost Rider, and he's a character that I wouldn't mind seeing some good stories from, and I would buy them if there were good stories by good creators. I would totally buy Ghost Rider, and there's not. And then we get movies, and they're terrible. And Marvel Studios needs to get all the rights to all their characters back. Yeah. That is a huge point of you bringing up Fox owning it, and so and putting this. Oh. They need. What Marvel Studios is doing is the right way to go about it. Totally. They need to have ownership of their... Is
DC taking a similar approach at all? Obviously with the Batman movies, the last 2, soon to be 3, has been great, but other than that, we've had so many interpretations of Superman and...
since DC is owned by Warner Brothers, so they have to... Warner Brothers always puts out DC movies.
Right. Are they doing continuity in characters and actors?
Not that I've never heard any plans. I know they sure wanted to. I bet if Green Lantern would have been a huge moneymaker, $1 billion movie, we would already have a Flash in the works. We would have a Wonder Woman. We'd have a Justice League on the future.
What Bale do?
I don't know.
Could they afford
I'm sure Bale is going to kind of stick with Nolan.
I think Bale's going to be with Edward Norton out in Cuba. Be like, F you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, Edward Norton it'd be awesome if he came, but, you just can't have that many.
Party.
You can't have that many.
What a jerk.
Which sucks,
Yeah. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sorry, Edward.
I like Edward Norton a lot.
Yeah. We'll have a beer sometime, but you're still a jerk for not being a hawk.
Yeah. Movies. Mm-hmm. There's a new Justice League DVD coming out soon, too, so we got to talk about that pretty
sweet.
Animated.
Is it the Doom one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. What's
No, I was just surprised. I thought we had already watched something like that. That was that Superman thing or whatever. Sorry.
You don't like it, huh?
No, I was just like...
going into Ghost Rider prejudged, going into Justice League Doom prejudged.
I'd ask Skyler to defend me, but clearly he's not going to do that. So.
Skyler's not even capable of regular human thought. Let alone helping you with anything. But Skyler, the goddamn Skyler.
Forgot the logo last week. We got yelled
at. Yeah, forgot the logo.
Management got on our ass.
Oh.
And it's not even our fault.
It's coming down, It's raining down.
Bullshit.
I hear it. Skyler's fucking up. No.
Just kidding.
Okay, well, now let's get away from the shitness of Ghost Rider.
Don't see it.
And I think the shitness is, it's just so full of shit that, I mean, it's just like the shitness of Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance.
Yeah. Colostomy bag of movies.
Yes, exactly. And we can move on to
better things.
Better things. Like this.
Like what?
Our stack.
Your stack, my envelope.
Your 3 books. I have, it seems like Image #1. I'm just like getting a new Image #1 book every week, and this week is No Place Like Home. I got this cover because, I just didn't like that cover of her, like, pushing up her boobs together. It just was stupid. I shouldn't say stupid, but, just, it wasn't stupid. It just, this one is better. I like this one much better. And it's good, it's No Place Like Home. There's a tornado, kind of looks like the plains, dog in a bag, Toto-ish, it's No Place Like Home, definitely some pull on Wizard of Oz. And it starts with 2 people in a cellar, are trying to get to a cellar out on a farm, and older people, and they get there, and boom, they die. And then their daughter has to, from this tornado, you're thinking at the beginning, oh, they're going to go right into Oz or something's going to happen. And that doesn't happen at all. Their daughter comes back, she's kind of like a bad girl, meets up with her friends, and they're all dressed provocative and, trying to look all good, and, and I don't know, kind of also low life, kind of maybe, don't have very bright future kind of people. And she goes and talks about what she's been doing, how she tried to go to Hollywood, but nothing's working for her, and she's back in Kansas, and she's mad that this is the first time she's back, and she has to bury her parents, and it kind of goes on for a while, and you're thinking, well, I guess I thought this book was going to go something different, and I kind of thought it was, but there's these different characters coming in, and the art is good, and it ends up just being a very good story, a very good opening where, something's happening with these birds, and maybe there's like a bird monster or something that actually killed the mother and father instead of the tornado, and maybe killed somebody at the very end, and it's kind of like a mystery going on where you were thinking it was going to be really Wizard of Oz, and, it kind of threw you off because they take those elements out, and then they have these it's a very adult book. I mean, the main character swears, they're drinking, and they're smoking, and it's not, like, supposed to be kiddie by any means, and, I mean, obviously she's holding a gun on the main cover, but the last page is a really good, cliffhanger to you want to buy the next one, and it's Angelo Turrato and Richard Jordan. Never heard of any of them, but I took a chance because Image #1, and it's fun to buy new Image books, and it's
just try them out.
Yeah, exactly, and it got me enough. Like, was it another one that just blew me out of the water? But no, it was better than most books still that I read out of the new DC 52, that's for damn sure. And so I'm going to definitely pick up the next one, check them out, and I can't wait to read more Image #1s. I just love all the books that they're putting out. It's so exciting. Ratings. I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely, man. You'll have to read it.
Cool.
Let's do some X-Men-ness now. Got any X-Men books? Yep.
No. Oh, yeah.
X-Men.
Shut up.
2 Schmexmens.
Schmexmens.
Okay.
You want to go?
Yep.
Okay.
You can talk about one first.
All right.
What do you want to talk about first?
Wolverine and the X-Men #6. The classic comic bubble on the cover. He says, "Hit me, they're gambling." He takes Quentin, the controversial telepath kid, on a mission to get some dinero to kind of save the Institute. Very interesting issue, all in all. Kitty Pryde still got the brood inside of her. They thought she was pregnant, but she's actually full of brood and stuff. It's kind of hilarious. All in all, the issue is really cool. The only thing I'm really disappointed in is the quality of the issue. You'll notice Tom is thumbing through it, and he's trying not to break the comic book. What a crappy quality. Period. It's so flimsy. It's like, damn, dude. I can pick up Avengers Academy or Uncanny X-Force, and it's more... Boom. Like, what's going on?
This is really thin, and
what is that?
And then it's $3.99 too.
Yeah,
that's lame.
That is lame.
Even though this cover is very funny and awesome.
Yeah.
Because Wolverine just is surrounded by people that are obviously just murderous, crazy monsters, and he's just like playing cards and don't even give a shit. And he should have a cigar, but I think Marvel has a thing about him that he can't smoke or something anymore.
Which is dumb.
Which is ridiculous. ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
But yeah,
the quality of it stood out to me right away, though, because we're big
totally
on that,
feel
you know.
Yeah, then I mean, I'm totally about that, and you know, you just feel like, I mean, these single pages are better than the cover page for that one.
Totally. And
I felt that kind of the same way with a book I'm not going to even talk about.
It was a fun issue, though. I mean, it was fun. I'd give it a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5? Nice.
Yeah.
Good. I like to see that that's still going, because I do want to borrow all those sometimes and just read them all, because I think, first of all, I really like Jason Aaron. I think he is definitely one of the top creators. Just with his past work, I love Scalped, Punisher Max, the astonishing Spider-Man Wolverine. He's awesome, and I kind of like that he's doing something with different with the X-Men. I was so bitter in the renumbering of Uncanny X-Men that it's almost like I still haven't brought myself to going back. And so someday I finally finished Schism all the way through that I borrowed from him, and I'm gonna read the rest of those because I like it. I like Jason Aaron. I want to read his work. Okay.
I like that cover. That's great.
Yeah, New Mutants. I think I've said it before, but I keep on trying to drop this book.
I did.
It's impossible for me. This is now Cypher is the main character of this book. So when ratings come along, it's gonna be
biased.
Yeah, you can't take this at face value. New Mutants. I've loved New Mutants before. Cypher is one of my favorite characters, and so now I have this story where everybody's kind of finding their partners, and everybody's kind of having their little relationships in New Mutants, and Cypher's really been in the background, maybe a few panels each issue, and that's kind of why I wanted to have been dropping in this, and now they kind of address that, and he's thinking maybe I wanted to be with Danny Moonstar, and well, she's already taken, and her and Nate kind of have a thing going on, and he's like, to get over this, I'm really been thinking about my death a lot, because I don't want to get too close to anybody, because then I can just die again. And he's like, my first death was genuine, and I thought that was going to be permanent, so I was brought back. It's still weird to get over, and I need to address that. So then they go to Paradise, an island where he died at, to find Bird Brain, and the Ani Nation, or something like that, is what killed him, and they're trying to bring it all back up. And it ends up happening that they get there, they're checking it out, they're all just kind of discussing, like, this is so worthless, why are we doing this? We're just doing this to humor Cypher, just get it over it, he needs us, he needs to be a part of the team, and then it ends up being that the whole entire island is infected with some crazy disease, and then they end up catching it from this infected bird brain, and Warlock is like, you guys are all infected, you can't leave the island, they're like, we need to get out of here. He's like, I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm part of the team, but if anybody leaves the island, the whole entire world is going to die because everybody will have this virus. And it is a great kind of jumping on point after that last one shot with Magma and Mephisto's date. Now we get a new arc, all kind of wrapped around Cypher's death and him thinking about it, and then this crazy virus. So they're stuck on this island now. I'm going to have to try to figure it out. I loved it, and if it wasn't all about Cypher and stuff, it would be a 3-star book, but no, I mean, I had been waiting for my Cypher story. I really like New Mutants, and this is my 5-star book. And I loved it. It was just fun to read, and it's so fun to read Cypher. And I mean, his power is he can decipher any language, body language, lip reading, code on computer, I mean, any kind of language of every single kind. He's like, I'm learning new codes and languages every second, every time I look around. The language of, people's sense, the language of all this craziness that he talks about. And it's just such a sick, awesome power. So.
You just said awesome twice.
Because I get so excited when I talk about Cypher. But anyway, he's my favorite New Mutant. And so, yeah, it ended up being a good book. 5-star.
It's funny, because like with Magma, I was actually reading X-Force Backstock last night, and they battled the New Hellions, and Fural was in on that, and Magma was in it as a New Hellion.
Nice.
And, Terra, one of the original, was there. And it was cool, so I mean, it's just fun to see. Her on the cover there, it just made me think of that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, up next, Uncanny X-Force number 22. the hype of Marvel Comics. Everyone's boasting about how great of a book it is. You know how I feel about alternate realities, time travel, and all that crap? Let's get to the meat and potatoes of what this team's about, because I'm really getting bored of the Britain Corps, or whatever the hell it is that Captain Britain's leading in this alternate thing that has dragons and broken castles. My reaction as a reader is, who gives a crap? Like, it's not a bad story, it's fun, but it's getting really old and really fast. Like, I really want to get back to the kill squad that is Uncanny X-Force, because right now, we're just kind of dilly-dallying around, you know, Psylocke's wearing a groovy mask, whatever. Like, for me, as a reader, it just doesn't do anything, and I'm very picky when it comes to some of my titles, in terms of what I look for in them. So, like, I'm hating on Thunderbolts, one of my flagship titles, because of the same thing. So, for me, it's just, it's not the cat's meow, it's not 5 out of 5, or anything like that. It's been getting a lot of praise. There's some neat moments in the book, but all in all, I mean, this is definitely a 3 out of 5 for me, which is disappointing because I've loved the team from issue 1. But it's just, you know, I'm getting kind of tired of the stuff that isn't relevant. I'm more about continuity. I'm more about in the here and the now, what's going on in the Marvel U and so forth. So when we're hopping out in the different dimensions and stuff, it kind of loses me a little bit as a reader. So
the art's kind of okay. It's really different, really quick and sloppy, but it kind of looks okay. Yeah. But I mean, is this what really happens?
What?
Is that right?
Yeah, they skimmed it.
So, like,
spoiler.
So at the end, it looks like Phantom X has some crazy muscle guy that looks like some sort of ripoff of Luther Strode's Vision. Has Skylock, is that Psylocke in this crazy Britain costume? Okay, well, I mean, she's Britain, you know, she's Bradley Braddock's sister, you know, and he's Captain Britain. And then they have Phantom X, and Phantom X yells, and the next panel is his face is ripped off. Just like the Joker in Detective Number 1. It's like, dude, remember, that was just done by a shitty-ass writer. And Tony Daniel.
That's a 3 out of 5.
Once again, another book that you sometimes have been writing on, but you can keep picking up.
Yeah. I have been. I mean, I'm hoping to...
Because you love X-Force. I mean, that's your thing. The Kill Squad.
Yeah.
You know, that's totally your thing. You know?
But
good people doing evil shit.
Yeah, but it hasn't been killy lately.
I hear you, bro.
Killy, that's not even a word.
Some other comics I got this week were All-Star Western. The vote this week, hopefully you caught that. I think Jason Jack Miller or something like that. He won it for... we were supposed to add a caption. It was a contest on Inveterate Media Junkies to this, and he ended up choosing, I thought you said a giant hat. And he won, and it is pretty funny.
That's awesome.
It's something like that. Maybe I didn't quote it exactly, but, you know, it's... but it ended up being a good issue, and finally, you know, like, I love Jonah Hex, and everybody at work has always been asking me about comics, so I brought in a bunch of Jonah Hex, because they're one-and-dones always, and I have some guys who are really outdoorsmen and stuff like that I thought they would like them. So I ended up reading some back issue of Jonah Hex too, and I'm glad that he's going to possibly be out of Gotham, because as much as I like, you know, seeing him in Gotham City and with Dr. Arkham and stuff like that, it sucks having the old Western tales, having be in an actual Western, you know, settings, and he's having shoot-offs and, you know, coming on old towns and mining towns and stuff like that. I love that about All-Star Western, is just been in Gotham City. So hopefully he sticks with that and they get out of Gotham. Another one was Justice League Dark. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know anything about it.
Hopefully it redeems itself.
Yeah, but, you know, they really closed it, like, last issue with, like, where do you go from here? Yeah. And I know that Jeff Lemire is going to be taking over, so I was like, I should just drop it until Jeff Lemire takes over. You know, that'd be what a person would do, because I don't really care about this run anymore. I wanted the new creator is going to come, but it's literally impossible for me to buy a cover with Zatanna on it. And so I bought
it. To buy it or not to buy it?
I mean, I have to buy it. I have to have I love Zatanna.
Zatanna.
If she's on the cover, I buy it. It's the rule. And I like how she's all dressed different, and you know, they keep the fishnets by having her have like, you know, a shirt that's fishnets. I mean, thank you. So I like it. I like that book already from the cover. Fantastic Four, we always talk about it on review day. It was really good. A lot of things came together, but I'm not talking about it anyway. We always talk about it, so I'm not doing it anymore. That one. And then Morning Glories. A lot of people have, you know, been talking shit about Morning Glories, but it is what Nick Spencer is still doing good work on. And I do like this kind of big overall thing that's happening with the school where they all have to do on this thing. And so, you know, it's sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. You got any other books? You got
just that one. Avengers Academy number, what are we on? 26.
Nice.
Damn. And the reason why I have to squint at that is because I have a big bright light in my eye, but also because I just can't believe I'm on issue 26. It just feels like yesterday when they started this series, you know, and I love it. This is a issue of Decision. Who Killed Jocasta? We talked about this, what, 4 episodes ago?
Yep.
But Jocasta...
And I was like, I wonder when Jocasta's going to be back. She's a robot, and John's like, she's not coming back.
She can't come back. She's dead. No, turns out she actually did come back. It's a decision-making issue. You know, people are like, oh, there's this guy that returns. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, to be honest with you. And he's offering the kids, a chance to work with his company. He's a rich kid, to use their abilities to like better the world and so forth. And so, at the end of the issue, who's going to leave the Avengers? None of the core members leave the Avengers. And, like, the secondary characters, some of them are like, I'm sorry, Hank, I gotta do this. I don't care, I've met you 2 issues ago. Bye. You know, so, to me...
That was funny.
This, I'm gonna give it a 3.5, just because that ended. I was just like, what the hell is the point of this issue, you know? Like,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I don't even know half of your names and you're leaving. I don't care.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Gage is finally hitting his...
Is he slipping?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Hopefully not.
It was it's still a good line, though. I mean, I'll continue to pick it up. I like it. But that was just kind of a disappointing issue for me.
That's funny. Alright, guys. Well, this is a comic book look, and you were with us another episode.
You did it.
Thank you again for watching. Hit us up with some more requests. We had a few emails lined up that we got some show ideas, and we'd like to have more at a comicbooklook@gmail.com. Comment as much as you can. Tell us all the things you like and hate about our show. And we'll see you next week, yo.
Absolutely. Oh, and before I say the closing line, shout out to Gabe Nightshield. Happy birthday. I made him a Spider-Man cake today. We'll put a picture up so we can show the culinary skills. I actually have my friend Sarah help me with it too, though. But it turned out cool. So, anyways, yeah. So we'll see you next week. We'll be a little bit more positive. This was just kind of a show that had to happen.
Fuck Ghost Rider.
John Blaze. Alright, anyways, keep it comics.